go. You see it right there in the graphic. It's time for a new you in 22. And today we're focusing on beverages and simple swaps to make them healthier. Joining us to show us how to do it is Health Editor-in-Chief Amy Conway. Amy, good to see you. Wow, you've got a bevy of them there.
I sure do.
Why is it important to be careful and choose carefully and swap out what we're drinking?
Well, so many of our beverages are just loaded with sugar and other ingredients that aren't so great for us, which means that over the course of the day, you can take in a whole lot of empty calories without even really realizing it, starting with your morning coffee, going to your afternoon soda, and your glass of wine at the end of the night. So we've got some easy swaps here that you can really incorporate throughout the day, and you can still get to that glass of wine at the end of the night if that's the goal.
So let's start with this. The first beverage of the morning.
Yes, indeed. I agree. Let's always start with coffee. And actually, the great news about coffee is that it's really, really good for you. So there's no need to scale back on your coffee. However, that fancy coffee drink loaded with cream, whipped cream, sugar, flavored syrups, those can really top out at over 500 calories. So you want to kind of scale that back. The goal would be to have coffee with a little bit of maybe plant-based milk, maybe a little bit of sugar, and you can kind of get there gradually. Just start kind of scaling back on all of those additions. You can add a little bit of cinnamon if you want to, ups that flavor. And if your coffee is really your sweet treat, especially during the afternoon, you can always have a couple little chocolates, and it will satisfy that craving along with your coffee.
That's good news for us, Ryan. I feel good about that.
Yes,
coffee is the foundation. It's the foundation of our diets. What's next?
Mine too.
A lot of people, I see you're in front of soda. Right.
I sure am. And let's just start by saying that when you're thirsty, just reach for water. That's always going to be your great default choice. But if the bubbles and the flavor are what you really love about soda, and that's why you go for a soda, you can always switch to sparkling water. There are so many different flavored ones out there, even fun ones with stuff like CBD in them. So there are so many great options. Or you can always zhuzh up your seltzer at home. You can add a little bit of citrus, a splash of juice, or just any kind of fresh fruit, and it'll make it more interesting, more tasty.
You know, where I grew up in the South, when you ordered iced tea, they say sweetened or unsweetened. So let's talk about iced tea. Sweet tea or unsweet?
Yeah, I have to say I do love a good sweet tea, but unsweet tea is definitely going to be healthier for you. And like coffee, tea has a lot of great qualities. It's actually really good for you. Home brewed, unsweetened is going to be the best. But if it's a little bit too bitter for you, if you want to add a little bit of sugar, like 1 teaspoon, 1 pack of sugar, that will sweeten it up, and it'll make it a lot, but it'll still be a lot less sweet than the bottled ones that you can find.
I'm here in the middle of like a very chilly, I would say. The environment here has gone, it runs the gamut during the winter, from chilly to polar vortex. What's it called? The bomb cyclone? Yeah.
Bomb cyclone.
Exactly. So you're saying it's hot cocoa season.
Yeah, hot cocoa season. Is there a healthy hot cocoa?
Yeah, there is. As with everything, if you DIY it, you can control the ingredients and make it a little bit more healthy. So here we have cocoa powder and sugar. Mix your own instead of starting with a pre-made mix. Again, you can add a little bit of cinnamon, even a dash of cayenne pepper. Those spices add some antioxidants, a little bit more flavor. And once you start making it with a little bit less sugar, it'll still taste just as sweet, just as delicious, and will really still warm you up on one of these real chilly days like we're having right now.
So what else? Smoothies are like, everybody is always, when Mark was working on location in LA, I would work out at a gym where the first thing they would do, I hadn't done anything. Like, I hadn't exercised yet, but the first thing they would do is try to hand me a smoothie. What is in a smoothie? I must admit, I'm not really a smoothie person.
Right. Well, smoothies can be super helpful for you. They can make a great power breakfast, but of course it all depends what you put into it. And there are so many options. So you can really kind of add in whatever you need for the day. You can have Greek yogurt for protein, avocado, and nut butter for healthy fat. Of course, all different kinds of fruits, but always make sure that you throw in a handful of greens. Whatever you have in the fridge is going to work. Kale, spinach, what have you. And it's such an easy way to get that extra serving of vegetable into your day.
All right, so you said if you work hard throughout the day with the swaps, you can earn a glass of wine at the end of the day. Tell us about that.
Yes. So the operative word is a glass of wine. Alcohol in moderation may be good for your heart, but again, it's all about the moderation. So if you supersize your pour, like if this looks like your glass of wine, you are overdoing it on your wine a little bit. The 5 ounces is really what a serving of wine is. So this is what you should do your best to stick to when you're pouring that glass. At the end of each night, the recommendation for women is no more than 1 drink a day. For men, no more than 2 drinks a day. And again, it is a 5-ounce glass of wine.
Do you know what
and
I call that
more
other
your
pour? The other pour, that's called a Real Housewife pour. You ever notice on the Real Housewives? It's like
exactly,
and
just
chalices.
Top it right up. Yeah, exactly. I know you can really see the difference.
Well, Amy, thank you. Very informative. We appreciate it. The current issue of Help is available now. For all these tips and more, you can visit KellyandRyan.com, and we'll be right back.